Hey guys, Chris here, and today I actually have a very experimental thing I'd like to try out, vlogging about the programming I've been doing, or screencasting really. So I've been working on a WordPress plugin, which of course is going to be using the PHP language and a little bit of JavaScript. It is the WordPress YouTube Post Importer. I believe that's my title for it right now. And people have created this kind of thing before, but one of the main things I actually wanted to achieve by creating this plugin was to make it so that it could import entire YouTube channels at once. Now that I've actually gotten very far into it, I'm kind of seeing why maybe some of the other people who have attempted these kinds of plugins actually don't really go for that import everything at once thing. And that's because when you're running a web server on PHP, which is a single-threaded language usually, although there's something called pthreads over here I've been looking at. I haven't really seen any examples for pthreads being able to work, but in the newer versions of PHP, supposedly you can actually do multi-threading with it. And that would probably be the solution I'd look for first if I was doing something like an Android app in Java. Now what I'm talking about here is when you're importing all of the YouTube posts, in this case one of my entire channels, which is 190 videos, on the main thread for PHP, the only thread really, that means your server is basically taken up, all of the resources are being taken up in PHP for uploading those posts to your database, your MySQL database. And while that's happening, which can take up to a minute or two, your website can't really provide any of the users with any of the information because it's already running those API queries for YouTube and the database queries through WordPress in order to store all that data. So I've actually gone ahead and created a Stack Exchange, what would you call it? Yeah, a question, I guess, on that. I'm considering a few different things. One is to actually reduce the amount of posts, which it puts into the database at once, making it do 20 at one time. Or if we go over here to the code, I mean, you can take a look. It's fine. It's kind of nice. I'm using NetBeans right now, although I started in Eclipse. NetBeans plays much nicer with Xdebug. I'm not actually sure why I put the bloody comments for the ideas on how to fix this problem. But yeah, one was to split it up so that there is less data being requested inside of one call, like only doing 20 videos at once instead of unlimited amount. Another would be to try to make a asynchronous, or in other words, making a second thread on PHP, possibly by using that pthreads thing, in order to actually take all of this processing off of the main thread where the web server needs to provide stuff. I'm not sure if that would actually work necessarily in reality, and the thing that worries me about that is how is that going to play with the MySQL database? Because if I'm storing data on the MySQL database through my second thread that was created just for this plugin, then is that going to conflict if maybe someone on any website really tries to save a form at the same time? Are those going to intersect or anything like that? I'm not actually too sure about that. Something I need to research a little bit more, obviously. And the third idea, I guess the third idea might be to try to offshoot this process to some other language, have a different part of the web server actually supplying the data. I'm not really sure how that would work, to be totally honest. This is kind of new territory for me. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of what I was working on. I'm probably gonna, think about this one for at least a few more hours, see if anyone responds to this question on the Stack Exchange, and then, give it a shot, see if I can get it to work where I can actually handle all of this data without blowing up the web server, blowing up the website. Now, one more thing that I was thinking of doing was if there's a way to, say, kind of take PHP and make something the equivalent of a cron job where I have all these queries queued up somewhere. I don't know if that would store in the database or what. But then while the web server is up, PHP might take a look at all those jobs, or part of the plugin takes a look at those jobs, and when the time is right, it'll go ahead and actually do those queries and insert all the posts. So like after I run the initial query or hit the submit button, then 10 seconds later, 20 queries do go ahead and do it. Then it goes back to letting the web server function normally. Then another 10 seconds, then do another 20 posts, so on and so forth. But yeah, as I said, I'm not really sure which of these is the best, if any of them are really good at all. And I'll have to be taking a little bit of time to think about it. Yeah, just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of, I guess this would be a pretty real world problem. Something that people on YouTube, like the people who are behind YouTube, developing YouTube, actually have to think about a lot of the times, because they deal with a hell of a lot of data. And I mean, of course, they have multiple servers and all that, but wow, kind of a tricky problem a little bit. But yeah, we'll see how what people come up with, and I'll probably actually comment on this tomorrow and let you guys know what I've come up with. So let me know what you think. This wasn't exactly organized. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there as a possibility, giving people or other people who are interested in development a little bit of a taste of my thoughts, so to speak. That sounds so strange. Anyway, I've been Chris. Thank you guys for going ahead, watching, and I will see you all next time.